Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hold on just a gosh darn second. I can't get this fucking thumbnail off the screen. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hold on. I'm all over the place right now. Yes, sir. How we doing? Good morning, everybody. It is the NFL. You see my fucking Rob Lowe shirt. I forget where I got this. Maybe like Ross or Marshalls or TJ Maxx, one of those good ones. Not a Goodwill shirt. Anyways, good morning. How we doing? How's the mic? How's the gain? I'm just finishing up my avocado toast. By the way, can you see that little how runny it is right there? I don't know if you can see that. I cooked the egg perfectly. Last time I streamed my avocado toast, I was a little camera shy and I overcooked it. But hold on. Last bite, and then we'll get this thing situated. Hold on. Yep. You know what I have? I have some Chipotle napkins. Oh, Krabs was right. Now that I think about it, the fact that I have Chipotle napkins laying around everywhere I turn, it's not so bad. It's not so fucking bad, Chipotle. The whole time, silly me, I thought Chipotle was a place you go for food. I didn't realize it was a place you treat like a CVS in San Francisco. You just go in there and ransack that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Get yourself, what do you need? You need some fucking, some cup lids. You need some napkins. You need some fork. Let's go. Anyways, W rebuttal. Yeah, that was fun. DJ is mucking goddamn. They have free forks too, DJ. Take as many as you want. Yeah, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. No, that was all good, clean fun. No beef with Krabs. I thought he did a pretty okay job defending Chipotle the first time I watched the video, but then I was like, wait a minute, I need to go back and watch this again because I feel like there's some fucking plot holes in the things that he's saying. So I'm glad we got that squared away, and everybody is having fun with it. Again, I feel like Chipotle, no beef. Just like I said, I like Taco Bell. I'm not going to sit here and tell you Taco Bell's good. You know what I mean? Do I think it tastes good? Yeah. Is it nostalgia? Was I raised on it? My mom couldn't really cook. She was great. Bless her heart. But I was raised a little bit on fast food. So, I like it. Is it good? No, it's not good. It's not good food. So anyways, that's kind of my beef. I'm going to edit my headline real quick. CEO of the Josh Hoover fan club. We're going to take that off. No disrespect to Josh Hoover, my guy, quarterback of the Horned Frogs, the TCU University. Speaking of, just to remind everybody, we do have, we got Steak traveling. He's going to Philadelphia, boots on ground for the Cowboys and Eagles game tomorrow. So we are going to be joined here by mid-major Matt. I'm going to bring him up in a second. By the way, I just realized I keep calling him mid-major. It's not mid-major. And we're going to talk NFL Week 1. So we've done our previews. Greg, good job. Greg's not in here, but Greg did a great job of go to the newsletter if you haven't already, of doing the division previews. I think just kind of giving everybody an overall a brief summary of what to expect from these teams or just what to know about these teams. We're kind of just doing this. There are people who pay and pledge to support our newsletter, but it's not like we're getting paid full time, so we're not full on beat reporters or journalists. So bear with us. But the newsletter week to week, we're going to put in our best bets. Last year was a horrendous year in the NFL. I just want to remind everybody, get ahead of that. And we do time to time feature bets. So we featured mid-major, who we'll bring up in a second. We featured a couple plays from Korn. Spoiler alert, he's a Vikings fan, and every time we asked him to give us a play, he gave us a fucking Vikings prop. Addison over yards and Hawkinson touchdowns. So we're going to see if he can get his bag a little bit deeper. But mid-major's a fairly sharp overall better, I would say. I know he's very self-deprecating, and he's going to come up here and say he's not. Don't let him fool you. And every year, I'd say probably for the past 2 to 3 years, Matt has brought us some pretty good reads into, now that I think about it, most sports. I think college basketball. I don't remember if college football is really his thing. We'll find out. Baseball. But the NFL, I'd say, is probably, just from following him, I don't know if I'll have a different opinion, but one of the sharper sports. So I don't know that there's many people that I would rather have up here to talk the week 1 NFL slate with than Matt, but I'm sure we will still probably clash on a few spots. So I'm looking forward to get into it. But I think, what's up, Rowdy Rhymes? Good to see you, Matt, to roast your ass minus 250 this morning, as he should. By the way, I don't know where my wrist brace is, by the way. I got to figure that out. So my wrist is already hurting. DJ, and your response to Krabs had me dying. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Again, it's good, clean fun, and everybody can be really sensitive out there and everything. If you go back and forth with people, it's all good fun. No beef with Krabs or anybody. And I always give Krabs props for doing content and putting himself out there. It's not easy letting yourself get roasted by strangers on the internet. Have fun in Philly steak. Yep. Go to Angelo's, fuckface. Go to Angelo's. If you don't go to Angelo's, I'm going to be pissed. Quantitative, good morning. How we doing? Hello, everybody. All right. So without further ado, let's get Matt up. Matt looks ready to roll. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining. It is, what is it, 7:12 a.m. In California time. Are you usually up this early?
Here and there. And again, I know we're trying to stay away from the Greg, just all positive things around Greg. I'm trying to run more. So unfortunately, that means I'm trying to, hang out with Greg's people. But yeah, so it means waking up early in the morning.
Well, there's run clubs that go in the morning and there's run clubs that go in the evening. I live near a track in Brooklyn, and I'm usually a morning guy. I like to work out and exercise early to get my the blood flow and the heart rate going. But I don't mind it an evening run, or I'm an evening walk guy, and it's usually just as busy. So you're a morning exercise guy?
Yeah, I mean, again, when I was younger, when I was 20 and eating Chipotle every day, I would work out in the evening like everybody else at 10 p.m. or whatever, right? But as I've gotten older, I feel like my body just it feels a little better when I do it in the morning.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All right, Matt. Well, I got to ask you as we kind of ease our way into the NFL board here, and thank you very much for joining us. Make sure to follow Matt at Not Mid Major Matt on Twitter. I'll share his link too. But I will. I want to ask you first because I think you're a little bit more of a serious bettor than I am, and I know these lines have been available for quite some time, and I'm not the person to push anything too early. Although I did get silly and stupid and bet a Ashton Ginty touchdown prop, but do you already have tickets in your pocket or a card that's developed? Or are you still kind of monitoring the injury reports and or the public movement, anything like that? Or do you have any bets punched in already?
I have played one and only one. And so I actually on this, by the way, if you could highlight Steak's comment, this is absolutely true. That is, please go to my page right now and follow me and subscribe, get my noties on. That's all what I'm all about. But to your comment or your question, I actually, as I've grown older, especially the NFL, I stopped looking at lines at all before like a week out. I just with how much I guess I overthink and how much information is out there. There's so much information that can change a single line, and I just don't want to overthink it and have that ruin my entire week. Yeah, I just don't give a fuck anymore. I get Corn's, perspective of, hey, it's the best value. It's the earliest movement, get ahead of the sharps. I'm just not that smart. I don't have the capacity to deal with all of it 3 fucking months out. So I just placed my first bet as of Tuesday. What's that? Yesterday.
Yep. Yeah. Are you, so we've kind of changed again. I think I mentioned, but we've known each other via Twitter for a couple of years. And, I feel like, again, I know you're very modest, but you're a pretty smart dude when it comes to betting. I like your angles. That doesn't mean they're always right. I've disagreed with you strongly in some situations. You've opened my eyes to certain things in another, but I feel like for the most part, we've always kind of shared an element of contrarian style in our betting. You've at least been cognizant, one of my favorite words, of what everybody's on or what the public is betting. And I think you used to reference maybe a bet stamp or like a score app or something like that. And you just talked about it, not letting it fuck with you or getting in your head and stuff. I'm the same way, because getting into this social media thing and starting this account in like year one, I was pretty good. And I've been betting for a long time, as have you. Like, not always good, been really, really bad. Sometimes you're going to get hot. Sometimes you're going to be really cold. But there was like, I always talk about this, but like, I don't know, a year and a half to 2 year stint there where it really just felt like fading your group chat or going against what everybody on ESPN was on was kind of a cheat code, and betting contrarian was doing really well. Since then, though, the more tapped in you get to gambling Twitter and you start to see, oh, what are the PODs? What's everybody on Twitter on? It really starts to fuck with you, because if you like something for specific reasons and then you're like, oh, no, everybody's on it, I can't be on it. I've cost myself units. Sure, I've saved myself here and there, but certainly worse off than better off by getting in my head and caring so much. So my mission this year is just like you said. I'm going to stop letting shit like that affect me. That's very silly and stupid. And when I look back on this later in life, I'm going to be embarrassed that that's even a reason that I didn't bet something because it was Jeff Rose's fucking POD at 9 a.m. You know what I mean? So I am going to lean a little bit more into just my ball brain. Okay. What do I like? What do I not like? And more specifically, like coaches. I just think, and I don't know if you're a big college football bettor, but like leaning into coaches and coaching staffs, preparation and shit like that. spots. Our guy, our GRP says bet teams, not lines. Well, I like betting situations and spots as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about Greg's map plays, which when he first did it had a lot of success. I'd say like 5 out of 6 of them hit. And then last year he kind of forced it and was a pathetic showing, but that's all right. We're going to bounce back strong. So I just kind of want to make sure like we're on the same page here as betting less contrarian going into the 2025 season.
Yeah, we've always had that, that similarity in a sense of contrarian and how we're approaching some lines. At the same time, though, it's still information, right?
Sure.
Doesn't mean being contrarian is wrong. Doesn't mean being square is wrong. It's just what line is what's gonna fucking hit. So I mean, depending on the perspective that you allow yourself to hear, I'm sure every fucking line there's a contrarian out there telling you to bet the opposite way of whatever they think is the public side. So it's really just, I guess, what is in our circle, what you're allowing yourself to hear and what you're doing with that information. With someone like a following like yourself, what do you have, 50,000 followers on Twitter? A little more?
No, I have like 30.
That's still a lot. You have a following that no matter what you do is going to tell you that you're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And you can say a thing that like there's contrarians out there with every single line. They're going to tell you this is too obvious. This is not going to hit, right? DJ's really let me say this to that. DJ's really popular because he allows himself just to be honest, and he gets shit on by everybody, and he just accepts it. He doesn't fight back. He doesn't try to insult everybody with that insults him. He's just like, you know what? You're right. Just fucking like my post, move the fuck on, and say what you want to say.
This motherfucker right here, Alan Dims, is my enemy number one. But I actually like having him around, and the use of clown emojis is still great. It's kind of vintage and nostalgic. But yeah, I don't think I'm that popular, by the way. But thank you. But I do know though it was kind of interesting, like back in the day. And I know he says, "Oh, you keep saying contrarian used to work." Whatever, everything adjusted. I understand that. I get it. But like back in the day, I think my opinion actually mattered. Now nobody really gives a fuck what I'm on, which is totally fine. But this is almost like. This is like a fresh start in my eyes because my brain for the last couple of years being in this, and it's nonstop. Like after football, it's fucking basketball, and then it's baseball, and then it's golf. It's a grind. It's a grind. So I'm I'm having a fresh start, and just going into what I like rather than the outside noise affecting my opinion. So I'm looking forward to it. Somebody asked, by the way, Matt, do you have any season-long prop bets currently pending? I mean, I know you got me on Geno Smith under passing yards that one year, which was an excellent wager. Is there anything that you like? I know we've talked a little bit in the space, which by the way, over 1,000 people tuned into. Thank you. That was awesome. And great idea by Matt for doing the spaces. Anything pending?
Yeah. Like player props.
Props.
Yeah. Again, my largest as of now is Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's right.
I flew to Arizona to get that down to a buddy.
I love that.
Yeah, we're full of libs. We'll just say that.
Yeah. But Texas is not allowing sports betting either, which is fucking bizarre. So, anyways, that's a separate conversation. But hopefully they figure it out.
Good point. I mean, a couple of season longs. I did ultimately tell. I made a season long with. We talked quite some time ago, and one of the first spaces that you were not able to make, Kevin threw out his favorite season long was Roma Dunze. It was kind of. It's really based off of Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, their second receiver, what he's been able to do with that. Ben Johnson has. So I tailed him on that. I also played Kevin Van Ginkel under 7.5 sacks. That I know that's gonna give Coin a heart attack, but tell him he's gonna give me a little rant on Twitter. But someone I think he overperformed last year. He faces in the NFC North. We have probably the best starting right tackles in the entire league. So he faces 3 of the top 8 right tackles 6 times a year. And I don't think after his near defensive player of the year season that he gets that done again. So I played that. Andrew Van Ginkel. I'm sorry, not Kevin Van Ginkel. I don't know what I'm thinking about. Thank you for correcting me. But there's a couple season longs. I have it here and there. I have Brock Purdy MVP. I love that. That's my way of backing the Niners offense and their easy ass schedule without having to rely on their defense, which I think is going to be really fucking bad, by the way. I really don't care about Robert Saleh. Look at what he did with the Jets. That the Jets defense was ass at the end of his tenure. The Niners defense without their studs in their linebacking core, absolute ass. So That is one of my long shot futures. I forgot what the number was, but and then again, I'm all in Jahmyr Gibbs, offensive player of the year. Got him 12-1, still love it. I think the dude is going to be a fucking phenomenon the entire year. So obscure season long props, and I'll get to posting them here soon.
Okay. Yeah, I think what we should do is as we go through the board, whenever we talk about a team, if there's anything you have on them or like about them on the season or dislike, that's a good time to talk about it. But I'm with you. Roman Anthony out 2 to 4 weeks. Yikes. I'm with you on Jahmyr Gibbs. I've loved him since he got drafted by the Detroit Lions, and I played him as my offensive rookie of the year. And fun fact, Tyler Sick Money, if he's in here, I went on a Detroit Lions Spaces to talk about this, and then they wrote it in an article on their superfan website about
Nice.
that bet being an angle or a read. It didn't cash, but the point is I'm pro Jahmyr Gibbs, and I will forever be pro Jahmyr Gibbs. So I think that, there's times where it's like, oh, I was on him and now I don't want to be off of him, or, oh, everybody was on him then, I don't want to be on him now. That's a guy I think every single year would just continue to fucking be better and better. So I know there's some things with the offensive line with the Lions. We'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, let's get into it. I've got some tabs up. I got Wager Talk up to reference the line movement. I got Pick It Up. But again, unfortunately, I'm just in Florida still, so I only see the current odds at Hard Rock. I don't see the best available odds, so I'm going to leave that up to you guys. It's your responsibility to find the best number out there. And then we'll talk some depth charts. We'll maybe, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I got an ad on this stupid website. If you guys have anything to provide or contribute or feedback, now is the time. This is a meeting of the minds. We're in this together, and let's try to get some good reads on week one. By the way, for what it's worth, if anybody's keeping track, you too, Alan Dims, you fuckface. Week one's actually where I find my most success in the NFL. Never forget, 2 years ago, I started 13-0, believe it or not, in the NFL. It was actually unbelievable. I think last year I started 7-1, but after that it comes crashing down from like weeks, I don't know, 3 to 8. I can't fucking find my elbow from my ass. So let's get into it. First game on the slate is tomorrow night. It's the Philadelphia Eagles at home. Again, Steak will be boots on ground, playing the Dallas Cowboys. Looks like the line opened 7. It moved up to 8 or 8.5. I was listening to, there's a new show. I'm trying to take in as much information and streams and listening as I can. It's a big space. There's a lot of people doing this. I don't know that there's a lot of people that I like in the space, so I have a really hard time finding things to listen to. But I did, even if whether I agree or disagree or don't really care for a follow, I'm still trying to listen to what people are saying. So, I don't know that Chernoff has a podcast anymore. I know you like to make fun of me for always sucking Chernoff's teeth. Have heard some people come on VSiN here and there. I had, just listened to, I believe, Chad Millman and Simon Hunter from Action Network. I know we have a couple people in the space who do not care for them, and that's fine. I don't really have a real opinion on it, to be honest with you, on either of them. But they went from Action Network to Colin Coward's network Volume, and I just retweeted something about Colin Coward. He's an interesting guy. So I was listening to them talk about this, and they're a little contrarian, which I do think contrarian betting in the NFL probably wins more than it loses, even still. But they're on the Cowboys. They said they bet the Cowboys at 7 and money line, and then Micah Parsons gets traded, and the line moves 1.5 points. Some places I think it's even 9. So he could be pretty valuable. Simon Hunter made a point that the books adjusted to protect themselves from teasers, which I guess would potentially make sense. I talked about this with Steak a little bit, again, since he's going to the game. Do you think, and we talk about this, fake sharp, whatever, it's just kind of a stupid term we've put out there in the universe that's caught in some steam. It's not actually sharp. The Eagles are sharp. But what we really mean is like it's a contrarian spot where you end up getting duped. And even if everybody is on the Eagles, they end up cashing. Steak kind of feels that way about the Cowboys. He thinks they're a duping. He thinks the Eagles are going to go in there and shove it down their fucking face. And he thinks the Cowboys are going to be very bad this year. I don't have a position on either of these teams, but I'm an Eagles respecter. I know that they're missing or replacing some pieces. I think their secondary is going to look a little different. Darius Slay is gone. They did draft 2 guys, Arnold and Cooper DeJean are still there. I think they're lost 1 or 2 players on their defensive line, which is important. So they still got Saquon. They still got AJ, Devontae Smith, Goddard, whatever, and Jalen Hurts, whatever you think of him. Is there a trend? Is there a narrative to fade the team, the Super Bowl winner, getting their rings, especially in a division game? I think it's kind of crazy to have a division game in week 1, but that's a separate conversation. I don't really have a strong read in this game, Matt. Do you have anything?
You touched on something that it's hard for me. And I'll say it this way, you say I depreciate myself, which I thanks for putting it that way.
Yes.
I'm a giant pussy when it comes to betting. Like if I get a sense of something I don't like, I'll just completely stay off the line. In regards to the Eagles itself as a team, again, the roster, probably the best roster in the NFL. However, my biggest issue is this is the second year of they have 2 second-year starting quarterbacks as their first and second string quarterbacks. After last year, DJen, after how well they played, how much better can they actually fucking get on the field? The guy fucking, I forgot, he got a touchdown. He got a pick 6 in the touchdown. Fucking Cooper DeJean. Quinyon Mitchell was a fucking stud year 1. Those two, they were second and third string, and they got rid of Darius Slade, correct. How much better can they actually get on the outside, in my opinion? Have we seen them peaked, or haven't we seen them peak? And that's one of my issues, I guess, with betting overall or NFL specifically, because the season is so short. Sometimes we see the potential in someone early on, and we always expect them to get better. We rarely do ever see, hey, this is the best they're going to get. This is how I actually view Jordan Love at the moment. I think he was so good year 1, where we're refusing to acknowledge perhaps we've seen the best of him already because we saw him come out of the gates flying. Mm-hmm. It's how I'm viewing the cornerback situation for the Eagles. How much better can those two actually play over last year? And if I'm taking with that mindset, I would absolutely take CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens over those two. If I was to take either group to do well. Of course, there's a lot many more factors in the Eagles D-line, the Cowboys offensive line, they can't run the ball, all that shit. But that being said, the total, it does catch my eye, being it's 47.5, I think it still is. To me, that seems high, even with the Eagles offense. It kind of tells me that the Cowboys do score, and maybe the Eagles secondary doesn't play exactly, that well. But obviously going from 7 to 8.5, it's just the books, couple of Corn's friends telling you they don't give a fuck about the Cowboys. They don't give a fuck about the sharps or the contrarians of the Cowboys. They just say they're gonna butt fuck Dallas because their roster is pretty bad overall. But to Mike's part, yeah, why not?
Well, I was going to say, I know I get both sides of what you're saying. I would say, wait a minute, they're a rookie. They played well. Aren't they only going to get better? We've seen plenty of times that players come out as rookies, play really well, and then we have these expectations of them, and then they never meet them. Yeah. And I know if people are young, you might not have experienced that too much. If you guys can get into your bag, if you're older, I was a Bucs fan. Michael Clayton was a wide receiver the Bucs drafted from LSU. He had, 1,200 yards receiving. I thought this guy was going to be the next big thing. And I didn't hear from him 2 years later. So it happens. It does happen. It's an interesting point. And I'm glad you brought up the total because that's something I did want to lean into and we didn't talk about. So I'm with you on maybe attacking the Eagles secondary. And I don't know if you remember the game script videos I put out last year, but I'm going to do some of those again this year. I already have something cooking up, and it was going to be with the Cowboys offense. I think, and I've been wrong about game plans plenty of times before, most recently Notre Dame's coming out there like a bunch of fucking pussies. But I think if you're the Cowboys, you got no expectations. You just traded Micah Parsons. You're coming in here as a big underdog. Why not show off your new shiny toy? Why not? Why not go right at George Pickens from the start of the game? Where are you going to really go in there and try to establish a running game? Are you going to try to dink and dunk? Are you going to be methodical? I say fuck that. And if they do that, then fuck them. Fuck Brian Schottenheimer. It wouldn't totally surprise me. But come on. You got to go in there and play every game like you got nothing to lose because you don't. You got nothing to fucking lose. I think George Pickens is a great acquisition for the Cowboys. I think he's a great number 2 wide receiver for Dak Prescott. And I think it's going to really help out CeeDee Lamb a lot. I'm not saying I take away anything from him, but I want to attack George Pickens receiving yards early. Something in that sense. So if you did have something to play, am I getting at, do you attack the passing game for the Cowboys?
That's how, if I was going to play the Cowboys, I would back the offense specifically. And I think that's where I resort to not playing Dallas as the line, because then you have to worry about the defense and the Eagles offense, obviously. If I saw success for the Cowboys, it has to be through their offense. So yeah, I would attack through the passing props specifically.
Yeah. And I don't have those up right now, but let me pull them up real quick. And by the way, chat, we're doing a where the fuck is my share screen? Oh, here it is. Pregame show on Pickett tomorrow. No more happy hour. We're doing pre-games for Thursday Night Football, and we'll dig into this a little bit more. But I did want to see what the props were for George Pickens, and then we can move on, because it doesn't sound like either of us have a strong play or lean in this game. Let's see. Where would George Pickens be? Did I pass this motherfucker?
While you're doing that, hopefully you can multitask. When was the last time the Cowboys weren't expected to come in first or second in the division?
Weren't expected to?
Yeah. Has it been some time? I mean, with Dak, they've been kind of perennial up there, no? In the first or second? Winning the division? No?
No. I agree with you. That's a very good point. Because the other question is, when's the last time the Commanders or the Giants have been good? I can't find fucking George Pickens. I don't know if I'm looking at this wrong.
Well, you're on a kicker somehow.
No, search. I know, but I clicked the, let me just see, show more. Pickens anytime touchdown. Oh, here we go. I'll just do this. Receiving. Here we go. George Pickens, 54.5. And for what it's worth, Steak likes the passing game for the Eagles. He thinks Jalen Hurts passing line is a little high. So kind of thinks points are going to be scored here. But no, that's a good point about the Cowboys. And another thing that I heard them say on that show, when do you see Dak Prescott as an 8.5 point underdog? Cowboys aren't necessarily very.
The team is that bad. That's not what we're saying. But specifically Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. I might be misunderstanding Alex Lewandowski's comment. They haven't been first or second division since. I think. Are you saying that they have been first or second since 2005?
Yeah, I think they have. They haven't been not first or second since 2005.
They have not been first or second.
Oh, I think.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Kevin.
Yeah. There it goes. They have been first or second.
Okay, so thank you. So they have no expectations this year. And again, to Kevin's point, the defense is fucking terrible. They have no run game. It's not what we're saying. 8.5 points is still a lot for a organization for 20 years that's had some type of expectation. All of a sudden they don't. So does Dak Prescott feel free? Does CeeDee Lamb just fucking burn everybody because there's no one? He's no longer the number one wide receiver in the league. We consider that. I don't know. So that's just kind of how I'm feeling. But at the same time, also to Steak's point, you acknowledge the Eagles are going to fucking pound the rock against the Cowboys defense. There's no doubt about that at all.
Last thing I want to ask you, just because I like your opinion on overall things in the NFL. Did you think the Micah Parsons trade was a bad trade for the Cowboys? Steak and I really had a disagreement on that.
I think it was a good trade.
Yeah,
I think it was a bad trade for the Packers. You
think it was what?
A bad trade for the Packers.
I totally agree. I Steak is a ball knower, but I kind of think he's overreacting to the low hanging fruit take of Jerry Jones being old and washed, and this was a bad trade because he played a superstar player. I think getting 2 first rounds and a player, given the situation and the fact that you had to find a suitor that was going to pay Micah Parsons $40-something million. I mean, there's only 3 teams that can do that. You didn't have a lot of leverage. So I thought it was a really good trade. And what if Micah Parsons is kind of like a Stephon Diggs for the Bills? What if he's like a fucking head case? Did you see it was like taking a nap on the preseason game or something? Yeah. What a fucking asshole. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't know a lot about Micah Parsons, but like he's got the fucking podcast, and I just think maybe it could potentially be a positive thing overall for this locker room and this team.
I think it's absolutely a positive thing. Clearly, he was affecting the locker room negatively. No matter how people felt in that Cowboys locker room, clearly he wasn't helping it. And the biggest thing again is Kenny Clark. Everyone's touching on it. He's the absolute stud defensive tackle. He's going if he plays week 1, if he's ready, if he's good to go athletic wise, he's going to help against the Eagles run game inside. Absolutely, no none. And it's going to hurt the Packers a lot.
Yeah. Also, I didn't think about this. I heard that Michael had 1 sack in 4 playoff games. I didn't realize that. So kind of a guy who doesn't show up in the big moments. I will say, and I'm not against your take on like it being a bad trade for the Packers, but my take on the Packers when we were previewing their division, and I took them like a sucker to win the Super Bowl last year live, like 14-15-1 or whatever, after they won a couple games and before they hit a dry spell going into the playoffs. you watch their defense and they're missing a guy. They're missing that guy. Like, we've seen the TJ Watt and the Myles Garrett and the Bosa, et cetera. When you look at these defenses, like the Packers have some dudes, but they got rid of their defensive corner. Thankfully, they're missing a guy. So I didn't mind them trying to get that player. I just don't know if that would have been the guy I would have gone. But anyways, we'll see how it plays out. All right. We have a game Friday, Matt, which I think is rather interesting. I don't know if I'm being the biggest square of them all here.
Kansas City?
Yeah.
3.5 on the road without a starting wide receiver.
So they opened 2.5. They're up to 3. I don't know if it was 3.5. I'm seeing 3 now. They are on the road, although it's technically a neutral site because they're playing in Corinthians Arena, I believe in Brazil. The total in this game was 44. It is up significantly to 46.5. Yeah. So Rice got suspended for, was it 6 games?
6.
That was pretty significant. And as somebody who drafted Pat Mahomes in fantasy, not thrilled about it, but as a human being, I think that that's the right thing, because that was a pretty scumbag move with the reckless driving there. I'm surprised it took the NFL so long to make a move. But anyways, again, not the conversation we're having. So I love the Chiefs, but I don't even know if it's so much about the Chiefs as it is I faded the fucking Chargers last year, and it sucked. It really sucked. This team, though, I swear, I was like, I just don't think they're as good as their record indicates. And I'm not saying this means everything, but you do read things like Sharp's book, and it does show you and expose some of the data. And they were terrible against any above average quarterback. And they faced the easiest offenses in the NFL. Number one easiest schedule of opposing offenses. I think this Chargers defense is a little fugazi. Now, I like Harbaugh. I like Herbert. I like their chemistry. I took a little flyer on Herbert to have the most passing touchdowns because I didn't think their running game was going to be all that great. And I thought he'd have a good time in the pocket. But now Rashawn Slater's out. Left tackle. Huge. That is a huge fucking injury. And that sucks. I didn't go back to fading the Chargers again, but I think I was a year early. I think this is a fraudulent Chargers team, and I certainly want to pick my spots. So I'm wondering if this is it or if I'm going to get fucking burned because we're all going to be on the Chiefs. But again, like I said, I'm not going to let that affect my decision so much. So what are your thoughts on Chargers Chiefs?
First off, on the Rashawn Slater point, I got a bit of degen in my blood. I bet Rashawn Slater a week before he got injured for the year. I bet him to win Protector of the Year, my only bet. So I degened him a little bit.
Yeah, most people don't talk about that. They think I'm the only one that's fucking ruining Taj Bradley's career. Jesus Christ, you got the hex on you too.
Yeah. I think it's by association with you though. So to be fair, so
yeah,
this is on you. The total seems really high to me. And this is just how my brain thinks. Without Rashawn Slater, without Rashee Rice, how are they going to split that many points? And in my head, I'm trying to justify it. Do you remember the game last year in Brazil?
The game last year in Brazil.
Week 1?
Yes, it was Eagles and Packers, and I had the Eagles. It was a sweat of the century. It was always the over. The field was, the field was pretty messy. There was a lot of points, and Love got injured.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
To me, I feel like the total's just moving up because it's the first weekend. It's Friday night. Everybody wants to see, points, obviously, with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. And the same field saw 70 points last year. I kind of like the under because in my football brain, I don't know without their starting left tackle with the Chargers and without a starting wide receiver 1 with the Chiefs. We've seen the Chiefs be completely limited on offense. We said the entire last season. The addition of Hollywood Brown is not going to move a total 2 points, right? The Chargers, because they have a rookie running back and fucking Najee Harris now to pair with Lad McGonkey, that's going to get them all of a sudden to consistent 22-point, 23-point offense. I don't think so. So if I was going to play, this is where the contrarian in me kicks in, I guess. It feels fake sharp to move on the total, I guess. And if I like points in Cowboys Eagles on Thursday, I mean, it would make sense. Obviously, I don't love thinking this way, but just naturally, as we tend to, things always even out. Does that mean the Friday primetime game goes under? Because in my football brain, it's really hard to justify how these teams score quickly and don't chew up a lot of clock. Because it feels like that's what both coaches want to do.
Yeah. Omarion Hampton is the RB1. Tim is saying in chat, you might be right. I think Najee is back though. He did have an injury from like I don't know if it was firework blew up in his face or something. And I don't know who their number 3 guy is. Why was I thinking of Dobbins? Oh, Dobbins got announced the number 1 running back. Matt, by the way, I think you froze, but your audio was fine. Does anybody else?
Frozen.
You're
Yeah.
frozen.
Let me restart.
You want to come out and come back in?
Yep.
Okay. No, I don't hate Matt's take at all on that. I think that I mean the Chiefs defense is really good. Right? By the way, the chat's buzzing today. You guys are kicking ass. Keep it coming. Everybody's fucking contributing, chatting. We love that shit. Remember, that's why we do it. We're not up here just to listen to me fucking talk. Okay, I had to by the way, sorry on YouTube, I didn't turn the ads on. I had to turn the ads on in there, so you're probably gonna get some ads. We'll see if mid-major can come back, but let's see what you guys are saying real quick. Special K, I think the Chargers are in a nice position. Joe Alt is a natural left tackle and can slide over to where Slater went down. Okay, interesting. Dobbins is in Denver, right? I think if you take under in every game week 1, you go positive. Yeah, that I got no issue with that. What's up, DJ? Been a minute. How we doing, Stanley? Good to see you again. Yep, thank you. I'm gonna be honest. I think both games are gonna be close, but I think the Chiefs and Eagles win, in my opinion. That's fair. Take a favorite money line parlay. All right, check. You look good. Yep. All right, cool. Dobbins is Denver. I already said that. He's not frozen. He's just a very good ventriloquist. Very funny. Chargers will be fine without Slater. Interesting. DJ, I'm in New York for the first time. Listen to stream in Times Square, taking notes. Love that, Brock D. Have fun. Be safe. Head on a swivel. In the 2 meetings between these teams last year, neither team reached 20 points. So why is the line 46.5? Interesting take by Tim. I just don't trust the field last year. I got burned because of it. All right, Matt, here's what I want to know. Because I'm kind of with you. Give me a score prediction.
Because I do like the Chiefs.
Yeah.
23-17.
I swear on my fucking dog, that's the same score I had in my head.
Because it's a 1 touchdown game. It's a fourth quarter game. It's a last drive. It keeps the game going under if they don't score the touchdown, and the Chiefs cover and win if Justin Herbert does obviously score the game-winning drive. Push the game over, and then the Chiefs lose outright, and the Chargers cover. So that makes sense now to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pull a Pickett real quick, and I'm just gonna see, because now I'm wondering, do I just like this team total? But I don't know. I don't want to get cute out of the gate. I might just stick to spreads.
Yeah, this is not me saying, telling you to die on the hill. This is just kind of where my head's at of the game.
Oh, I like that 21.5. I really do.
Is that for LAC? The under?
Yeah. 21.5 under is -115.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's all going to be dependent on the last drive. You have to sweat it out for all fucking 60 minutes.
So it is interesting too that no Rice in the totals moving up as well. People are probably just eager for points on that field and what we saw last year. But I am with you. If you, and it's stupid that my brain works like that as well. But back-to-back primetime games going over, don't necessarily think so. Probably lean more in the Eagles game than I would this game. But what I was looking at here is McConkey, 5.5 receptions. Outside of that, you got Disley, Quentin Johnston, Omari and Hampton. I mean, I just don't really, at the end of the day, I guess what I'm getting at, Matt, is like the Chargers, they're a fundamentally sound team with Harbaugh, but they're not gonna kill you with all these weapons. Yeah. Don't you think that why is the name is Spagnuolo the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs?
Yes.
Spagnuolo. Don't you think with a whole offseason and a lot of familiarity with these teams and seeing them last year, don't you think you can take away, what you need from the Chargers in terms of scoring and Herbert and these weapons? I really think so. I really think so. Yeah, I like the Chiefs a lot. Oh, Trey Harris, that's the other guy I was looking for. They drafted him from Ole Miss. It'll be interesting to see how he does in his debut. Okay. So no official play from you on this one, is that right?
Not on this one, sir. Yes, and whoever's asking, it is a soccer field.
Yeah. Okay, and then people are asking about a season-long entry for the NFL. I'll probably make one tomorrow. I'm going to see if Javon, it's short notice, but if he wants to talk college football, we'll go through. But we did do that with Steak yesterday, and then we'll talk season-long underdog entry because those are pretty fun. All right, so that's it for Thursday and Friday. Now we go into Sunday, the first NFL Sunday of the weekend, September 7th. First game I have on the board. let's see, we'll go off of covers. I like their display a little bit. Let's go with the Colts and the Dolphins. So if I'm pulling up wager talk here, I'm seeing this line open Miami -1.5. It is flipped. The Colts are -1, or it's down to a pick 'em at circa 45.5. The total is up to 46, 46.5, 47, depending on where you look. That would make sense to me. I don't really know that.
Can I pause you for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see any of the book where it's showing that the Dolphins open up a favorite. That's what you said, correct?
Yeah. Okay. So if wager talk's wrong, it's wrong. I don't work for them.
I don't think that's correct.
Okay.
Just from
all right.
majority of what I'm looking at.
So the Colts open up a favorite, -1, -1.5. You're probably right too, because now that I'm thinking about it in Sharp's book, that's what they had him at. And I don't think anybody's gonna necessarily not think points are gonna be scored here with the Dolphins and the weapons for the Colts in a dome. We have a potential best bet coming from Steak in this game. Spoiler alert. Not going to tell you what it is. Let's save it, Steak. Let's gatekeep that shit for the newsletter. That's right. Sign up for the newsletter if you want to get Steak's play. Just kidding. You'll be able to find it. I think he likes the Dolphins. Matt, you were a Dolphins hater. I like your read. We talked about him a little bit this year in the spaces. Not one person is saying a positive thing about Miami.
Yeah.
Feels like McDaniel's coaching for his life. I look at this depth chart of the Colts, and I will say this. I don't know what people are saying about this team. I don't know what the public perception is. I don't know if people like him, don't like him, whatever. Daniel Jones is a guy I do not like. For whatever reason, I feel like he is a guy, not the Colts, just Daniel Jones, that people believe can have a resurgence in a better career under a guy like Steichen and on a team like Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say hard no. There is a chance. Sure. We saw what happened with Darnold in the right fit. Maybe Jones was never meant to play football in New York or New Jersey. I'm okay with that. But I got to tell you, for whatever reason, I like the weapons. I like the roster for the Colts. I just can't come around to betting them. I hate to do this. I would lean Dolphins or nothing in this game. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, I get the point. Also, I mean, if you want to look at the paper stats, if you would, of the roster, the Colts defenses, they have injuries all over the board somehow already, which they do every fucking year on their defensive line specifically. Again, if you're thinking, I think I can make sense of Steak's logic here. This is vastly contrarian, if you would, maybe.
Is it, you think?
I mean, yeah.
Colts basically -1.5 on this money line. Nobody cares nobody's not going to lay -120 or whatever it is on the money line, I think. I mean, I know people don't like juice, but so basically you're saying the Colts to win the game at home against the Dolphins. You think that's probably would be the popular side if you had to guess?
It has to be. It has to be. Yeah. I mean, if you're, again, the very complex, I guess, layer here, if you would, you see that line and say, how the fuck is Daniel Jones a favorite against anybody?
That's a good point.
The reason why I say contrarian is to your point, there's not a lot of Dolphins love for the season. And given Daniel Jones being a starter, this seems like a very contrarian play to me. But so I guess that's me making sense of Steak's brain. Again, not speaking of Steak, but that's the logic I would use. But yeah, the stats are out there. 2 on the road, Tua, and against the winning team, against losing teams. All the data's out there for us to see. My biggest issue is, again, Tua's health, obviously. Crutch touched on it. If the guy gets fucking stacked once, he's going to have another fucking concussion, and your season-long prop is out. In terms of your acknowledgement of not many people loving Miami, you have to also acknowledge every year there's maybe 2 or 3 teams that everyone agrees on is going to be bad, and they're bad.
100%.
Last year, I know the Saints were really fucking popular about going into the win total. They won the first 2 games, then absolutely shit the bed. Same thing with the Patriots. Everyone agreed with them. At least in our circle, you and I, in a lot of our associates, if you would, the Titans, purely because of Will Levis. So my point is, every year there are popular teams that no one likes, and they meet expectations of doing poorly. So I think that's just how Miami, in my head, I'm going to define it. I get yours and Steak's view of wanting to be, hey, no one likes these guys. Hey, they have a lot of teams at home. Hey, they're playing a lot of okay teams. I get it. I just don't want to back Mike McDaniels or Tua. It makes no sense to invest my money that way. But for me, if I like the Colts, and if we're talking about, look at that.
Again, Well, listen, at the end of the day, we always say take the splits with a grain of salt, but they are here. Pickett tracks wagers.
Yeah.
I think these hold some value and some weight. There's 27,000 wagers. I don't think that's a lot for a week one NFL game, but it's still a Wednesday. Not even $500,000 wagered yet, but 70% of bets and money on the money line and the spread for the Dolphins. We do think that Pickett users tend to be a little bit more sharp. So this is not debunking what you're saying or
Just
saying you're wrong.
Yep.
I personally, because everybody always loves the Dolphins, even though it's far less of them, I do wonder if the Colts look like the easy button here because it's Daniel Jones. But I also get what you're saying. You make a good point. I'm curious if you look at this depth chart for Miami, Matt, and you've been pretty on point about this team, like kind of trending downwards. It doesn't really do anything for me. The defense does not really do anything for me. I understand Jalen Phillips is a nice player. They drafted Chop Robinson from Penn State. Jordan Brooks at linebacker, I guess. Bradley Chubb, fine. Minka Fitzpatrick coming back. Like Storm Duck is a really cool name. None of this really fires me up. So at the same time, again, like I think this is a fucking chalky ass over because Steichen with the time to prepare against players like these. I know who's their defensive coordinator was a guy from the Ravens or something. Anthony something. Do you remember that? Anthony Warren or some shit. Anyways, I don't know. I just like points. I think I like points. But I don't have a strong play in this game, so it doesn't really sound like you do either.
Again, this is kind of, I'll go back to my Cowboys take. And if I like a team, at this point in the betting, the gambling scene, you don't have to rely on Anthony Weaver. Thank you. You don't have to rely on just the game lines. I love Jonathan Taylor this year. I completely agree. The Dolphins defense is terrible. Not terrible. I'm sorry. They have a lot of potential, I guess, but a lot of that potential comes in the pass rush. The Colts offensive line, I think, is going to absolutely demolish this Dolphins defense. And I think Jonathan Taylor is going to be out for blood this season. I think he's going to absolutely just smash this Dolphins defense. Do I love Daniel Jones? Absolutely not. Do I think the Colts are favorite because of the offensive line and Jonathan Taylor? I do. Still, if I was going to bet the Colts, I would focus on Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, no issue there. By the way, I missed the sub bangs earlier. Steak, thank you. You gave out 10. You subscribed yourself. Slim Smith with sub bang and a couple new follows. What's up, Cole? What's up, Leighton? Thanks for joining the Born Review. All right, we'll keep moving here. Next game on the slate, I've got the Jets and the Steelers. This is a really interesting one. Curious to hear your
interesting is a fascinating word to describe this game.
Well, listen, yeah, there's probably a better adjective to describe it, but let's be honest. I don't think this is one of the better week one slates.
The narrative, I get.
Ultimate. You got a sandwich revenge game here. Rodgers going against the Jets in New York, and then you got Justin Fields going against the Steelers, who he started for last year and won like 4-2 or some shit before they said, "See you later. We're getting Russell Wilson in here." I don't know what to think about either of these teams. Well, I take that back. I think the Jets are going to be bad, and I didn't have the balls to fade them straight up. So I took a half a unit and I played their alt under 4.5 wins at plus 210 because I just think that it's time for them to be really bad and draft a quarterback, although maybe none of these college quarterbacks are going to be their savior. But they have pieces, and I don't know what I think of Aaron Glenn as a coach, but I think he's given me, I like the first impression he's made so far. Just he seems like a serious guy. I think he's going to run a serious organization. I think that's good for the Jets. They have good pieces. I like Breece Hall. I like that they've drafted on the offensive line the last 2 to 3 years. They're going to be starting some young players. I think that's good for the future. And they paid Sauce Gardner. I don't know if that was a good idea, but we'll see. They paid Garrett Wilson, but outside of that, they don't really have anybody. They don't have any weapons that threaten me, at least. I hate that I think this, but I'm starting to come around to the Steelers dog walking them like a 27-10 type of game. That's what I'm starting to think. But a month and a half ago, I loved the Jets. Loved them. Because I feel like nobody's got faith in Justin Fields. But you know what? I don't either. I'm looking at Justin Fields' face, and he just looks like he looks like Daniel Jones in the eyes. I don't think he's built for New Jersey. So I got no play in this game right now, but I lean the Steelers. What about you? Total's 38.5, by the way.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what the chat is saying. I think you also have to acknowledge the Jets' best offensive lineman, Elijah Vera Tucker, is just ruled out. He got injured. So that's going to be awful. But yes, to my first thought, Alex Lewandowski, how do the Steelers score 27 points in your mind?
Okay.
You gotta play it out for us now that you threw it out there.
I will. I'll give it to you. Here's how I think they're going to do that. You ready?
Oh,
You're not. You're going to think I'm being silly.
hmm? Defensive
Nine
touchdown.
9 field goals.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Dude, field position. Field position. I don't think they're going to get anywhere. I don't think they're going to get anywhere, do anything. 9 fucking field goals coming from the Steelers. Watch.
For the longest time, I've always tried to defend you about being a meme capper. With that comment, I just don't have anything for you guys. I think I might be in on DGen being a meme capper, guys.
If there's a weekly special for game with most field goals, I'm taking the Steelers. 100%. POD. No, I'm just kidding. I look, I like Caleb Johnson. I guess the Steelers don't. He's running back number 3 now. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is all that great, but don't you think as much of a moron as Greg is, he's got some good takes. He's got 1 or 2 really good takes. Don't you think it's so Jets for Aaron Rodgers to destroy their franchise and then go to the Steelers and be great?
I think he's that petty. I honestly think he can't physically.
Sure, with you. That's why I'm not betting on them. With you.
Yeah. So yeah, I get Greg's point. Obviously, I would say that's a pretty popular point, honestly, because how people view the Steelers as being one of the more popular franchises in the actual NFL. Aaron Rodgers has no power behind that arm anymore.
Yeah.
And he can't. Again, maybe it's just me and the videos I've seen in training camp because I only want to put so much respect on that. But watching him not move in the pocket in the training camp videos is really concerning to me. That dude looks awful.
I completely agree. It was I think I know exactly the one you're talking about. He was like doing those drills where he was like moving side to side and then he threw it and I was like, this guy looks old.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan Sir gifted a sub, Bang the McKiffin. Appreciate you, and I will be on Owner's Box later this afternoon. Looking forward to it. Always chopping up with those guys. So we'll see you guys later. After we run through the board here with Matt. Appreciate Matt taking the time.
Do you think how much do you think Rodgers puts into physical conditioning in the offseason after his all the time after his ayahuasca trips and all that?
I'm not gonna say he's fucking Derrick Henry. But I don't. He doesn't strike me as a guy that just goes to the beach and like sips pina coladas. I would say on a scale of 10, 1 to 10, I would say Rodgers is probably right around a 5.5.
Where would you rank yourself? A 0, 1.
This offseason, a 3.
Okay. Sorry. No, so you run a mile every morning. Is that correct?
Well, I was until I hurt my knee playing basketball against Beeve. I hadn't really moved around laterally in a really long time, and then when I played basketball, the side of my knee really hurts, so I haven't been able to run quite as often. But I still do my walks on the treadmill. Like I did 35 minutes, burned about 215 calories. What are we saying? Oh my God, for Beeve killed you? Yeah. Yeah, I got bad knees. I got patellar tendonitis in both knees. So anyways, it really hurt. But I go to the gym, but abs are built in the kitchen. All right.
My point being is I think the two of you, he's 4 years older than you. He's going to look like you after that Beeve game. Okay. None of you have fucking committed to your athletic your physical form at all. So I think he's going to look fucking terrible this year.
Yeah. Okay. But here's my thing. I'm not, again, I don't disagree. And I'm out on Rodgers. He's a fucking asshole. Like the fact that when you watch that documentary, the fact that he went to fucking Egypt instead of OTAs with a new team coming back from injury. He's such a fucking cocksucker. It's like, bro, you got plenty of time to go to Egypt, you fucking asshole. So anyways, but he's a petty bitch. You said it. He's a petty bitch. So I'm just.
And my issue is that mindset stays, but his physical ability is no longer near what it used to be. So I'm afraid he's going to still play with that tenacity, but his arm just can't do what it used to, and it's going to get them in some really bad spots.
I'll tell you this, Matt, and you guys are going to think this is stupid, but I think for the most part, the average listener that tunes into this knows that I'm kind of stupid, but they enjoy the entertainment. But every now and then you take a good nugget from me and you're like, you put it in your back pocket, maybe you use it to win a wager or something like that. Do you remember when the Jets last year, when they started the season after they lost to the Niners, they went and they played the Tennessee Titans? Do you remember that?
I did not.
Okay. Well, I went to T Squared in Midtown Manhattan. It was a Jets bar. I watched it there, and I played the Jets. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't play the Jets. I went there not knowing it was a Jets bar to watch the NFL Sunday. I was like, well, fuck me. I'm surrounded by Jets fans. I'm watching the Jets-Titans game. Not my first choice, but I was watching it. It was a back-and-forth game, and I hated the Titans. That was my biggest fade last year. I hated Titans, so I was invested in the Jets. But there was a play. The Jets didn't really look that good. It was tight. There was a play in that game where Rodgers got hit on the sideline. And he woke up and he got that fucking pep in his step. That annoying cocksucker Aaron Rodgers, like, okay, I'm fucking ready, you assholes. And then I'm not saying he went out there and tore it up, but I knew the Jets were going to win that game, and I bet the Jets live. This will be interesting, and I will be monitoring this because the Jets could be coming for that ass. And Aaron Glenn is the DC. They could come and they could hit him and they could break him because of his condition. I'm with you. But if I see that late hit, if I see a dirty play, if I see a guy try to roll on his ankle or something, I might have to get in live on Rodgers. Just remember that. Take a mental.
That's fair.
I like what you're saying overall, and it's going to keep me off of this game entirely. So, okay, here is one I am very eager. And by the way, just reminded me because you called the Giants beating the Browns in Cleveland last year. I still owe you a jersey. I'm going to have to get you that at some point. Don't let me forget it.
The Giants did not beat the Browns, did they?
Yeah, dude, you said Daniel Jones. They went into the Cleveland and they beat the fucking Browns. And I said, there's no way Daniel Jones is going into the dog pound and winning. You don't remember this?
Yeah. Because I forgot that was the same week as the Bo Nix going to the Tampa.
That's right. Look at you, double dipper. Okay. We got the Commanders opening up against the Giants. I'm not gonna. You're right. These openers are not right at all because it says the Giants open as a 7-point favorite. That obviously didn't happen. I think there might be a typo on which teams are favored. So instead of Miami opening 1.5, I think it was probably the Colts that opened 1.5.
That would make sense because that's what it looks like.
So now these are just on the wrong side. A little bit of a technical error here. Yep, because Cleveland is showing as a 6-point favorite. All right, wager talk is ass backwards today, so I will make an adjustment on my own. Commanders open 7, they're down to 6. Total 45.5 up to 46. Going into this game, I like the Giants, but I'm starting to wonder. Seems like stock down for Washington, stock up for New York. I think the Giants might be a bit of a trendy dog here. You got a division dog trend to back them up. And who had the most fun this preseason that maybe we've ever seen? The Giants quarterback room. People are loving what they're seeing. You're not buying this.
I get your point, but you have to also acknowledge a lot of that fun is Daniel Jones not being there.
Sure.
It's not just
and Jameis.
It's Daniel Jones. Yes. So it's a lot of that. But I see your point. I know we got derailed, but please highlight Coin's comment. I could not agree with that at all. Like, you're acknowledging it's a shit website, and you still just...
it's terrible. Well, I don't have a good website for the opener.
Go to Vegas Insider.
I used to use Vegas Insider a long time ago.
It's simple, it's basic, but it has pretty accurate openers.
Don't I have to pay for it?
No.
I thought I had to pay for this.
It's not like a fucking timeshare. Just fucking use it.
Odds. NFL odds.
You can just odds and betting lines.
Oh, yeah.
Your opening and the current.
Oh, you son of a bitch, Matt. You son of a bitch. You know, not one fucking guy.
Thank you, Corn.
Jake or fucking Greg. None of these guys are useful at all. They never give me a fucking website to use that actually.
You're the leader of the idiots. We just want let's make sure that we know that. Like, you say that yourself. So just you're idiots.
Okay. So I'm here now. Thank you very much. But back to my point. I'll make this quick. I like the Giants at first. The lines moved a full point. It seems like the Sharps like the Giants, if that is accurate. Well, now that I'm on my new shiny website here, let me give this thing a spin. Open 7.5 down to 6, full 1.5 move for the G-men. I can't get involved. I am out. Oh my God, it's down to 5.5 on FanDuel. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I might have to buy low. On the Commanders here. Oh boy.
Unless, actually, wait until you see Pickett, because I have a comment I want to tell you. Is Washington Boise State?
Okay, so the money line here, obviously, money line parlay, sure, yep. And then the bets are split on the tickets, but the more money on the spread on the Giants would make sense. I see what you're saying. So the line moved
so well last year, and I know we'll have different opinions here. I think a lot of Commanders love is still out there. You disagree, which is okay. But for a team that has Jaden Daniels, I mean, a top 3 quarterback in fantasy that people love, so you still got to acknowledge that. To get 2 points steamed down at home, that seems significant to me, despite all the line movement. So that's why I say, is this Boise State?
You have a point.
2 points is absolutely fucking concerning. How Boise moved 4 or 5 points?
Mm-hmm. 9.5 down to 5. Yeah. Well, if you like the Giants in this game, you have to like defense, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
You have to like defense. So their defense is going to be nasty. I do wonder if Cliff Kingsbury is going to be a mastermind here and avoiding the pressure and getting quick releases, quick passes, 3 to 5 yards, get yourself in 4th and short. They did it a ton last year. They were incredibly successful. I think that's just only going to continue. I don't think it was a fluke. You got Debo now. You've signed Terry. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Maybe an under.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you have to acknowledge also Russell Wilson as the Giants quarterback. The dude was terrible last year at the end of the season. He still has a oddly nice fucking rainbow ball when he throws the long ball, Outside of that, I think, what is it, 2 years ago when he's on paper, he looked exceptional, and you had to say it that the dude doesn't throw a pass past the line of scrimmage for that completion percentage and for the EPA nerds that are out there. Yeah, it's a 40-year-old starter in a new offensive system behind a new offensive line with not a great running back room versus a Commanders team on offense, which I think is due for a bit of regression, at least in terms of success. Not because I think it was lucky. I want to make that very clear. I completely disagree with Chernoff. Just because I think that the 4th down conversions that I saw Jaden Daniels complete, it seemed just insane the way he was escaping pressure and running on his own. So I can't imagine that happens consistently this year. But yeah, I like the under, honestly, because I cannot see the Giants' offense exploding, and the Commanders' offense, I can't see them having 10-minute long drives that result in a touchdown every fucking possession.
Remember they went like 2 games without punting? 2.5 games without punting?
You had the over in a game, correct? Your week 2 best bet, does that sound correct? And they didn't punt, and it still went under. Does that sound correct?
It does, but I didn't have the over. I had the Giants +3. And
they did not punt.
Yeah,
and you lost your bet.
But they didn't score a touchdown.
Yes,
an offensive touchdown or something like that. Yeah, and the Giants didn't have a kicker, so they pushed.
Yes,
they pushed. Yeah, it was brutal. Okay, all right, fair points here. Let's keep moving. I think this is a really interesting game. So again, I don't think this is the most beautiful slate, but I think there are games on here that are worth watching because there's narratives, but they could still be bad teams and bad matchups. The Jags and the Panthers. Canales versus Cohen, 2 former Bucks Baker Mayfield offensive coordinators that got head coaching jobs. I can't believe that Liam Cohen is a head coach for Jacksonville after year 1.
Whoa.
I really can't. I can't believe it. Let's see what Vegas Insider says here. The total 3 or opener 3.5. It's still 3.5. See what Pickett has to say. I'll tell you again, kind of similar to the Colts game. This feels like a really obvious square over that I kind of like. You got more bets and money on the Jags. Doesn't seem like the line's moving a lot. I will say, given the Panthers, the hook does seem a little tempting. Everybody's a little high on the Panthers, I think. They ended the year strong. But I don't really know where people stand with Jags. And then I'm using my football brain here. I think, okay, these 2 coordinators are facing off against each other in week 1. They both got fun new weapons with Travis Hunter and Tet McMillan. I don't know if that was the last name. I forget now. McLaren? McMillan, right? It was McMillan?
Yeah.
McMuffin? Anyways, and you got you got a young quarterback in Bryce Young. You got a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who hopefully you're having this resurgence with Liam Cohen. Cohen did great with Baker and in 1 year. I think he came from Sean McVay. I got no reason to believe that the passing game might be fine for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think I really care much for their defense. I'm not a Josh Hines Allen guy. I know everybody thinks I'm crazy about that, but he doesn't really scare me that much. We'll see what Trayvon Walker can do this year. But I think we can get some points. And I got to tell you, I don't know that the Panthers are going to come in here in week 1 and not throw a punch or two. So I like the dog and I like scoring. That's kind of where I'm at. On the flip side, Steak had mentioned that the Carolina Panthers defense outside of JC Horn is abysmal. I don't disagree. That's kind of why I could see a little bit of a shootout here. And again, I get it. It's probably an obvious over, but that's the way I'd lean. So you got any thoughts on this one?
I like points. I disagree with Steak here. So when he says it's the Jags, the only reason is because I am going to buy into the Panthers hype because they're having a lot of offensive hype after the season. Their team, I'm buying the hype because I can agree with them doing well and being okay with their hype when I'm selling the Patriots and the Bears hype. I think those are the two probably some of the more popular teams that people are liking to do well. So I'm good with the Panthers because they're still dog shit. Everyone doesn't agree. Everyone agrees that the defense is terrible. However, I disagree with Liam Cohen coming in here season 1, week 1 with an entirely new offense with Trevor Lawrence, who has fucking been awful his NFL career. He has not been good. But people love Brian Thomas Jr. and they're excited to see what Travis Hunter can do on offense, obviously. So I don't think that's going to go well. I know the Panthers have their issues on defense. Is a new system with a new quarterback, with a new coach, going to be the ones to take advantage of that week 1? I don't think so. I think 3.5 points is too much. So I like the Panthers.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't know that I can press the button, even though I really want to fade Liam Cohen this year. But I'm thinking about it. I just don't see the Jags having a successful season year 1 under Liam Cohen.
I don't. And to your point, Liam Cohen, I think he stepped into an amazing opportunity last year after Dave Canales built up that system. Cohen just had to fine tune it a little bit, and the pieces were all there. Though. That is the complete opposite of what Jacksonville.
Good point. Very, very good point. Very good point. Yeah, and Steak and I talked about this, but I'll never forget that Baker Mayfield's interview on Pardon My Take when they asked him about Cohen taking the job, and it was just one of those things. You usually see a very scripted, boring, robotic answer from a former player when one of their coaches leaves, and wish him well, this and that. And Baker's reaction was just like, the head coach takes on a lot of responsibilities. You got to answer all the questions. And it was not a positive response, really. And it wasn't, there was just the whole way it happened with Cohen leaving. Because I don't know if you remember this. There was rumors that he was going.
He said he wasn't leaving.
Then he wasn't. Yep. And then he left. And like the whole team was in the Bahamas, or the whole offensive line and Baker in the Bahamas. They FaceTimed each other. And I bet you they got off that phone. Was like, man, this guy's getting in over his head. That's what I think. And I think they know ball. I think Baker knows ball. So that would be like a Baker tale of
Listen to the players, right? I mean, I don't fucking work for the guy they have. To Cam's point, not ever did I say the Jacksonville offense is not talented. That's not what I said.
Jacksonville offense has talent. Yeah, and I think I said that as well. I think their offense will find success. And if they're going to do it, they certainly
like the over, though.
What's that?
You like the over, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I think they'll find success against the Panthers defense, especially at home. All right, Matt. Cardinals coming out of the gate here against New Orleans. Looks like they're favored by 6.5. Let me just double check that, make sure it's accurate. So this one's interesting. Now Vegas Insider says it opened 3.5 and it's up to 6.5. Could be a 3-point move.
Let me verify with Wager Talk to see if that's accurate.
Are you being serious or are you fucking with me?
What the fuck do you think?
I think you're joking.
I am joking.
Okay. So anyways, I think the Cardinals look like the obvious survivor play here, the obvious parlay teaser spot here. I don't know that I love Kyler Murray laying a touchdown on the road. I just don't. I like this Cardinals team this year. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. I always love James Conner. I like their fucking draft pick, Walter Nolan from Ole Miss, defensive tackle, getting nasty on Gannon's a defensive guy. I think the stock is going up for the Arizona Cardinals. I still think they win this game, but I don't know about covering. And everyone's out on the Saints. I'm fine with that. I'm not here to tell you that I think Spencer Rattler is good. I couldn't stand the guy at college. I faded South Carolina because of it. I think he fucked me and went over their win total. But anyways, I got a weird feeling about this game. It's going to be a weird game. It's the NFL. Remember when the Patriots beat the fucking Bengals last year in week 1? Mm-hmm. Weird things happen. Kyler on the road laying a touchdown. No para me. Saints are nothing in a nasty game is what I would say. What about you?
I'm going to ask you this.
All right.
Does Kyler Murray laying a touchdown on the road not feel heavy?
So here's the thing. I was thinking that, and the answer to your question in short is yes. But don't you think that, dude, the New Orleans Saints are like a new tier of bad?
I do.
And if you're telling me the opener, by the way, Wager Talk says it was 4.5, just if we care. But if you're telling me the opener was 3.5 or even 4, the opener at least makes sense. Like that's what the odds makers and the brains or the computers, whatever the fuck it is in Vegas, is saying the Cardinals are worth on the road. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. If guys like Korn and Sharps and pros are hammering this line, I think it's just gotten a little too high. So, yeah, like 3.5, 4, sure. Cardinals all day. 6.5, I don't care who you're playing. I can't do it. But I see what you're saying, though. You still have to have a respect to even take it there as a bookmaker, I would think. So they are respected.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I get what you're saying.
So I think Steak is agreeing with me in saying this seems to me like a Cardinals butt fuck of the Saints. Because to your last point there in your statement saying that the bookmakers, whether it was 3.5, whether it was 4.5, to move it up to 6.5, it wasn't DJ placing $100 on the Cardinals money line or for a teaser, right? Whoever was placing money on that Cardinals spread, they said, "Wow, we respect the money too much. We got to fucking move it. We got to keep moving it." And I completely disagree with you, Dawes, best survivor pick, because it's the Saints. You have the Broncos 8.5-point favorites against the Titans. You have the Cowboys off, overseas, who no one thinks the Cowboys going to beat. You also have who else was it? I forgot. But I think they're the Commanders against the Giants. There are clear better teams out there for a money line parlay and a survivor pick, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But I think that the Cardinals, I think they're one of the better teams in the league that no one's talking about purely because of Kyler Murray and how underwhelming he's been in his career so far, which is completely fair. Mm-hmm. I think their defense is going to be fucking nasty for Arizona. And I really like the Cardinals this year.
Okay. All right. I very much respect that take. Hey, do you have to take a piss or get a drink of water or anything? Because I might need to take a quick break. If you want to,
you can go. I'm good.
All right. I'm gonna. You want me to put up? Do a quick commercial break?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. We'll do a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Then we'll be right back reviewing the board with Matt. Don't go anywhere. Hold on. Where is taking a piss? We'll be right back. All right. And some music. Bang. And we are back. That wasn't too bad. I don't even know if that was a minute and a half.
Before we start rolling, Stream East got shut down.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I never used it.
Largest illegal platform in the world.
I'm kind of surprised it took this long.
They said it was 2 fucking dudes in Egypt running it.
No way.
I didn't read much on it. I just saw it right now, but yeah.
Wow. R.I.P.
Don't tell anybody, McKiffin, which one it is.
So what does it say? Sniffs insanely loud to AirPod users.
Anyways, sorry. Last thing. Do you know what Steak's doing today? Because he's been in chat every second of every minute we've been talking, so he's not busy.
Well, he's supposedly. I think he's flying to Philadelphia today.
Oh, okay, that would make sense then.
Yeah. But never forget, Steak is also the guy who set up a degenerate fantasy league and wanted and scheduled the draft and then wanted to live stream the draft. And then the morning of the draft, he says he has the sniffles and he can't do it. So you never know what it could take to throw Steak off course and not be able to show up. I'm just fucking with Steak. But yeah, anyways. All right, let's get to it. We got a lot to talk about. Hutch Bets with a sub bank. Appreciate you. Bro, you auto drafted. I was with my fucking dad trying to have a burger at the golf course when my little brother was having fucking golf lessons. I was like, hold on, I got a draft. I picked my first 5 players and that's it. Give me a break. Auto draft, fuck me though. All right. I want to talk to you about the Bengals and the Browns. I like the Browns. And the Browns, correct me if I'm wrong here, the Browns have the Bengals number. Or maybe it's just in Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. I think Burrow can't win in Cleveland. Does that sound right?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Back to Malik with some sub banks. Thank you. But yeah, there we go. Lewandowski said it. Burrow randomly struggles versus Cleveland. Yep. Steak. No, it's not your fault. You got sick, but you made it on every other stream except for the fantasy football draft. So get fucked. That's right. I'm going to tell you that I like the Browns here, but then I'm also going to tell you that it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Zach Taylor's strategy of playing his starters in the preseason actually ended up working. It wouldn't surprise me, but I like Cleveland. I actually even like Cleveland to go over their win total, quite frankly. Flacco's the starter. They got some guys on defense. They're underdogs. I think they're just maybe a step above the Saints in terms of expectations this year. So I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't make taking a shot on a home divisional dog here. Duping?
Are you asking me?
Who the fuck else would I be asking? Yeah, I'm asking you. This is why I need to rely on other people's perspectives, because if I go in here thinking I'm all hot shit, oh, look at me with a Cleveland Browns ticket. I said back to Malik with 5 sub banks. Thank you very much. Rowdy Rhymes, Paul Mack, the Ron Co, Bet Inside, Dr. Putada. That's a fun name. I haven't said that before. Congratulations on your sub bank. Thank you, Malik. Appreciate you giving those out. Yeah, you need to tell me, am I being a dumbass here?
I think this is complete fucking duping for the Browns. In my opinion, we have seen. Yeah, thank you, Royal. I was going to say past couple seasons, but he has the exact data. Through the last 4 seasons, the Bengals have lost straight up. And they've been favorites every fucking game. So what we see from Zach Taylor is his team's never fucking ready. And now you go into a division opponent. You go into a place that has a previous defensive player of the year who's kind of in his prime with oh God, I'm forgetting his name. Defensive end for Cleveland. Shit, I'm blanking. Anyways,
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett. Thank you. But how much shit has been talked about the Browns quarterback room this entire season? I mean, they've carried 4 quarterbacks at times, and now they announced Joe Flacco. People like Joe Flacco. He's played really well last season. He covered a lot of spreads. He against the spread. He kind of a darling in his golden years. I think Joe Burrow comes out pissed. I think this offense absolutely annihilates the Browns defense, and Joe Flacco has a real big issue trying to keep up.
That's all I need to hear.
Just me. This is not square. This is not me trying to be fake sharp. Mm-hmm. This is me just feeling, I don't know how I view the Bengals full season because I do fear their defense. Mm-hmm. But me fearing their defense, it's not because of Joe Flacco. they're not going to scare me off of.
No, I'm with you. And I think the end of the day, I actually liked, there was a clip of Burrow taking some hits in that preseason game against the Commanders, and he was getting they were getting shit for it. Like, what is Burrow doing in there? Blah blah blah. I like that Taylor said, I'm tired of this shit. We're not coming out in the first 2 weeks and losing anymore. Our starters are going to play in the preseason, and they played more than one drive. Now, I don't necessarily think they need to play a full quarter, but I liked it. And so at the end of the day, if it works, I'm good with that working. Like if I was a coach or in that organization, I would be pro that decision. So if it pays off, I don't want to bet against it. That's all I needed to hear. I'm off the Browns.
Yeah, and stake to the Furies, which is fair. I've yet to bet it, but the Browns seem, as the home dog with as good as their defense there is, that seems like a really, quote unquote safe bet. Specifically when you mentioned the Bengals defense as well.
What does this mean? Trent cutting into DGen time?
I have no idea. Unless he's starting to stream now for some reason.
Did Trent go live? Trent, this is probably this is the counterattack to my video against Krabs in his Chipotle take.
Oh,
you saw it. What does it say? What was that UFO noise? Yeah, Browns have been talking about all offseason about going back to Stefanski offense. Last time they were good, Baker threw 31 most passes in the league. They have to heavily invest in the RB room. They're going to pound the ball down the Bengals' throat and keep the ball out of Burrow's hands. Fair enough. Yep. You and Krabs was great. Thank you. But I'm loyal. Appreciate you, Suck It Will. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, I see both sides. That's why I'm not going to get involved at this one at all. Not going to get involved.
Just me. I actually think give my take. I think Krabs' video was terrible. He started off so good, and then everything about that you pointed out was exceptional. By the way, it was, I don't know how
I thought he made it easy. I thought the same thing. I woke up at like fucking 12:30 at night. I passed out at like 9. Don't get me started. But I woke up to take a piss and I saw his thing. My vision was blurry. I couldn't even see what the video was, but I heard what he was saying. Then I saw he had like 170 likes. I'm like, well, he must have roasted my ass. And then I watched it again and I'm like, this motherfucker's talking about taking the forks and the napkins. That's what we're doing. We're putting soda in a water cup. That's how we're defending our fucking prized possession here of Chipotle. I thought he just kind of made it easy.
To his following, though, for the 16, 20-year-old white kids in college, that's what they use it for. And that's what they got in the likes.
DJ made an argument worthy of the Supreme Court. Thank you.
It was phenomenal, the things that you pointed out.
I'm pretty good at a debate. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I think you're great at debate in the moment.
Thank you.
It's pointed out what you needed to. I wanted you more to touch on the appearance, because do you remember the movie The Benchwarmers? With that fucking headband? I don't know what he was going for with.
Oh, well, I saw somebody comment that I didn't even notice. The headband was upside down.
Dude, I mean, Krabs, brother. I don't know, man.
I hand up. I'm not lying. I thought the jersey was kind of fire, though.
Yeah.
No, it was like a little Supersonics, like a little.
No, it was. I mean, everything about his appearance was just with what message he wanted to get across. It was. I feel like should have been a lot more thought that went into the appearance. You just woke up. Your hair was all over the place. You had no glasses on.
Yeah, I did.
Your eyes were very squinty still because you had crusties everywhere, and you still just bodied it. That's how poor he showed up to the argument.
This is the priorities I have in life. So I woke up and I have a busy day of work today, and I have like 5 things I have to do, and I'm the kind of guy, as soon as I wake up and I have coffee, I'm like, I do a little bit of one thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not usually a big list guy, but I made a list of like the shit I had to do. And in the back of my head, I know the whole time I'm like, I got to get back to that Krabs video. Like I have to get back to that Krabs video. And I wanted so badly to just immediately, like, that's the first thing I did. But I knew if I got started, I would get carried away because then I would get involved with the comments and the replies and the retweets. So I was a good boy. I put the video off to the side. I did like what I needed to do for like an hour and a half, organized my day. And then I went to making the video. It only took me about 20 minutes, surprisingly. But I did, as I was making the video, I looked at myself and I was like, man, I look like I just woke up. Yeah. I said to myself, I was like, should I take a shower? Should I like shave a little bit? And I was like, nah, let's just do it raw. It's funny you said that though. Yeah, that was fun. I'm curious to see what he has to say. But again, there's already been enemy fire apparently on with Trent going live and trying to sabotage, as Suckerville said. I'm totally kidding, by the way, just joking. All right, where were we? Oh, we were
Browns. I don't know if we wrapped it up, but
no, we did. Talk to me about the Patriots and Raiders, Matt. I forget
You
what
go
you.
first.
Okay, I love the Raiders.
I know.
Again, am I getting duped? I don't know. They're 3.5 according to Vegas Insider, down to 2.5. That sucks because that's a lot of respect, I think, isn't it?
You said 3.5 to 2.5.
Yeah.
Is it? So I'll ask the question this way. It's a second year quarterback with a new system. Do you feel like that is significant movement against that? That's how I framed it. Because when I framed the other arguments, I would say, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have a Commanders quarterback just won the NFC Championship, all these other things. Now you have a second year quarterback who won 3-4 games last year with a completely new system. That doesn't seem significant. Whilst the 3.5 to 2.5, if real, that is clearly significant in terms of the line. I don't know the move against the situation though feels that heavy. Because a lot of people would want to get against that, getting a field goal in that situation. From a Hall of Fame head coach with Pete Carroll, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'm gonna buy it to 3. I like the Raiders. That's probably as of now, and it has been for some time, going to be my best bet. I do like Pete Carroll going into New England early in the year. It's not going to be cold, but it wouldn't really matter. I think Geno would. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, it would matter. Geno is a guy that was not good at playing true outdoor road games, but I don't know how the weather's going to be. I'm not looking into that necessarily, but my whole point is that it's not going to be 45 degrees and snowing. So I just think with all the hype and expectations, a team that I typically like to fade is a team like the Patriots. New coaching staff, some new pieces, new faces. Like, is it all going to work instantly? I don't necessarily think so. One of the things that concerns me is Spillane, the old linebacker from Vegas, is now a linebacker for the Patriots. Like a little bit of a revenge game there. I mean, there's no revenge. Like, I don't know, they left on bad terms, but it's just weird. But you also have new pieces and all new different faces on the Raiders too. So that's kind of a bit of a wash in my strategy. I just think I like Geno's chip on his shoulder more than I like a Drake May young quarterback with hype and expectations playing in front of his home crowd. That's what I like. So
I get it. And to Steak's point, actually, thank you, Steak. Drake May has won 1 game in his career out of the 10 he's played. So how do you lay a field goal with him? Which makes sense to my point, 3.5 to 2.5. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
But I see your point. But at the same time, do you want a 70-year-old head coach with a quarterback who does not play well outdoors, with a young running back or a rookie running back, with a team whose wide receiver has requested a trade going across the country? That's your best bet. And I framed it very intentionally because I don't know how you get there, man. I really don't. I think Geno Smith, we talked about it. The dude is bad. He's not smart. And you think of against a Vrabel defense that's going to get any better outdoors? No. Why do they have hype? Because Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty? Sure. What else on that team is going to do shit for them? So when we talk about my perspective on the Patriots Raiders, I think the Raiders are going to be dog shit this year. I can see offensive pieces that they want to build around for the future. I don't know how they go against across the country week 1 and do anything significant.
I got to tell you, I'm shocked with how much Raiders love I'm seeing. I did not expect that one bit.
Pick it because on my stupid ass poll on the score, which I again, just information, it's a 50-50 split.
No, I meant on season futures.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of Raiders over and a lot of Raiders to make the playoff, and even fucking what's the dumbass Prime. Prime's got him locked in all over the Raiders this year. That fucking guy. I'm just shocked. I didn't think anybody was going to like this, but apparently I'm wrong. Here's the picket splits, if you can tell the difference.
I agree with State completely. Yeah. So, so maybe if however you view designs going with these kind of splits on Pickett, again, this is a drop in the bucket in the overall money that's going on these lines.
Sure.
But 3.5 to 2.5, it is concerning when you see these kind of splits.
Right.
But I just think the Raiders are dog shit.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. I might. You're right. All right. I don't want to come out and make stupid ass plays.
That's just me.
That's all right. Okay. Talk to me about my Bucks in Atlanta. This is the last 1:00 game of the slate, and then we'll get into 4:00. Big game again. I don't love division games in week 1. I got to tell you though, there seems to be a little bit of bad news on each side for these teams. I think the Falcons lost their Right tackle. What was
Yeah,
his
they
name?
lost a couple of linemen. They
Yeah,
lost Gary, and then somebody else. I forgot the name.
can't remember the guy's fucking name. But anyways, Tristan Wirfs is going to be out for this game. We know Godwin's still out with this game. Third offensive coordinator in 3 years for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This line opened a 2.5. It's still 2.5. I'm a little nervous. But I really don't fear the Falcons as a Bucks fan. Again, in case anybody wasn't familiar, I'm not nervous. I don't fear the Falcons season long. Truthfully, I know Stakes all over Atlanta. He's got Raheem Morris's freaking nuts all in his face, and that's fine. I get it. You like Bijan, you like Drake London, nice players. Outside of that, I don't know. I think Penix, I'm a Penix guy. I like Penix. I think he's going to be a nice player, but I don't know that I trust the coaching staff. The defense made some good moves in the draft, getting and addressing the pass rush or lack of thereof. So maybe we see some improvements, but I still would have to side with a Tampa Bay Bucks team that just has a dog at quarterback, maybe a little bit more, I don't know, like reason to come out and be pissed off. I like that they're on the road instead of being away from home, and they got swept by the Falcons last year. Now they can kind of give it back to them. And the last time they were in this building, they lost in overtime, and Kirk Cousins threw 500 yards on them. I don't know. I expect a dog fight, but I lean Bucks. Tight spread. I think it's going to be a tight game. I can't get any money involved in this game, though. What about you?
Tight spread, tight game, division game, week 1. I like the under. You have both offensive lines are banged up. The Falcons, like you said, they've significantly upgraded the pass rush. Their cornerbacks were ranked, I think, dead last against man, I think, last year. But it's purely because they could not get any pressure on the quarterback. And how long can you fucking trail somebody, on defense? Some guy that runs a 4-3 and you're reacting off of what his actions are. However, when you think about the Bucks, you think about their offense. When you think about the Falcons, you think about Penix and the offense. You don't think about defense. The Buccaneers secondary is hopefully it can't be as injured as it was last year for the entire fucking season. So I'm expecting some positive progression there. I don't like the term positive regression. I don't think that makes sense. So progression there, at least in terms of their
very concerned. Yes, I'm concerned.
That's with their actual result of their play. So McKiffin's point, too many injuries on both offensive lines that I think are being completely ignored in terms of the total. I think they're gonna have a tough time on the ground and through the air because the pass rush on both sides is going to get to both quarterbacks. So I like the under with two offenses that I think people are a little too big picture on, like what it looks like, and not really focused on the impact of the losses for the offensive lines.
I think that's very, very well said. That might be one of my more favorite plays that I quickly just came around to in seeing this, how this plays out. Okay. Let's go to 4 o'clock. So we've got 4 o'clock games. We got 4 o'clock games, and then we can talk a little Sunday night and get your quick thoughts on the Falcon or the Vikings here. I guess I got to pick up the tempo and pace just a little bit. It's 11:40. And again, thank you to Matt for taking the time today. We really appreciate it. All right, Denver and our Titans. That's right. You're over here on the Titans as well. I love Cam Ward. 7.5 up to 8, 8.5 even at ESPN bet. You told me to double dip, and I'm in on Cam Ward on a couple passing props. I'm not in on the Titans yet. I don't know how I want to bet them still. I'm kind of having cold feet. I don't really know why. You told me to take Brian Callahan, coach of the year, which I kind of get. I mean, if they have this improvement and they are as good as I think they potentially can be with some of their pieces and a dog at quarterback like Cam Ward, sure. Question is, though, do they come out in week 1? The first 2 games for the Titans are not fucking easy. Figure they have to play next, but it's brutal. So on the road in Mile High against one of the best defense, if not the best defense in the NFL, and another hype team with the Denver Broncos, maybe one of the most hype teams coming into this season. I see people picking the Broncos to win the AFC West. I think either the Commanders or the Broncos are going to regress like a motherfucker. And I don't know which one it is. I know a lot of people probably lean towards the Commanders because of their schedule and some the luck factor issue. But I know that's not what you think, but I don't know. I want to fade the Broncos right out of the gate. I certainly don't want to bet on them. I certainly do not. I think Cam Ward is a smart quarterback. I think they're going to have a good game plan going into this game. I don't know. Betting a rookie quarterback on the road. Let's just put it this way. Let's take Cam Ward out of it. A rookie quarterback on the road in Denver against a good defense is just not a smart play to make. and I'm trying to make more smart wagers. That's where my pause is. So, but you're right. You talked about it when I mentioned the Cardinals being a popular survivor play. Broncos got to be the most popular. I would imagine half of the survivor entries in week 1 are going to be the Broncos money line. Or
that sounds right.
So what are your thoughts on this?
This is the Bengals versus the Patriots last year, buddy.
Shut the fuck up. Is it really?
I mean, how do you not frame it that way?
I love it.
Right? Yeah, So I'm not going to play the Titans, even though I really want to, only because I'm so invested on their season over wins. You know, I don't want to give away the money. I'm hoping to win by the season end if they win 6 games on their spread. I don't know how Denver's focused for this game, and I get coaching. I get Sean Payton. He's Hall of Fame head coach. After this game, they have to go on the road they have to go back-to-back road games and then play Cincinnati and then Philadelphia. Cincinnati at home and then Philadelphia on the road. So after this game, they have 3 of the next 4 on the road, and 1 against a division opponent and 1 against the Super Bowl champions and 1 against Joe Burrow, back-to-back weeks. And then against Daniel Jones, say what you want about him, but it's Indianapolis on the road next week. I don't know. With that being said, let's say that the Broncos are up. Do they stop giving a fuck because of what they have coming up in week 1? I like the Titans. If I wasn't so invested on the season long, I don't like Bo Nix. Again, I'll say it this way. Have we seen the peak of Bo Nix of what he did last year? We saw him in college. The dude has a ceiling. Did he perform to his peak last year? Was Sean Payton that perfect of a head coach to get his absolute best play out of it? I'm kind of thinking yes. That being said, who is Bo Nix going to throw to? I mean, Cortland Sutton's a good receiver. Like, what do they have, really? Their offensive line is great. Their defense has been great. I mean, quarterbacks, honestly, if we take just their college careers, I think we take Cam Ward over Bo Nix. So if you're taking the better quarterback, getting over a touchdown.
I know Cam's money is laughing his ass off at you just said that because he's such a Bo Nix slurper.
I know. Fuck him. He's anyone that plays at Oregon, the dude just has a hard on for it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I took Bo Nix to lead the league in interceptions. I think they're going to ask a lot more of him. I think they're going to try to be more aggressive. They were notorious for starting slow. He threw a lot of his passes at or behind the line of scrimmage. I saw the data points there. So we'll see. Their sophomore slumps are very real. I liked what I saw from Bo. Maybe I'm wrong about Sean Payton, but I agree with what somebody just said. Like, out of the gate week 1 on the Broncos, I don't know, man. I really don't know. It sounds like we both like the under.
I would just yeah, I mean, by that logic, yes. But I could also see the world where the Titans are winning and the Broncos have to score and pushes the game over to catch up. I'll say it in Spanish so Cam can understand.
Isn't he Mexican?
Yeah.
No. Do they speak Portuguese? I'm just kidding. All right. Man, I feel like such a fucking bitch, dude. As much as I love Cam Ward, I feel like I was ringing the bell on him pretty early. And now I got there's so many smart people who are telling me fucking they like the Titans. And here I am in week 1, kind of being a soft little bitch. Maybe I need to just shut up. Are you going to be on the Titans plus points?
I just said no.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. I missed that.
Because I'm so invested on the season over wins.
Okay. Understood. My brain started to wander, by the way, when you were comparing Cam Ward to Bo Nix on what Cam's money's reaction would be.
That's fine.
All right.
But I like the Titans.
Okay. All right. Here is go ahead.
It's the Bengals versus the Patriots. It
has to be. I love that. I love comparing games to previous games. I love that. Fair enough. I'm with you. Okay. These next 2 games, actually these next 3 games, the 4:00 slate is fucking fantastic, which, by the way, pouring out to me, my grandparents have their 50-year wedding anniversary, and they decided to go get a dinner at 4:30 on Sunday. So I don't even want to talk about it. Don't think about it. I know, but it was nice of them at least not to do earlier because I did want to watch the Bucs-Falcons game, but I did not realize I'm going to miss the best part of the slate. The San Francisco 49ers opening up their season on the road against Seattle. Matt, feel like you might have a good read on this game on one of or both of these teams for whatever reason. You and I have always kind of been around the Seahawks, but that was more Geno related,
Mhm.
not so much Sam Darnold and Mike McDonald, Kenneth Walker related. But I don't know how I feel about the Seahawks. I like their defense. I like their guys. I like their pieces. I thought people would be buying in on them a little bit more. Line open 1.5 up to 2.5, by the way. But I don't know. It doesn't really, I'm not necessarily seeing everybody going out and fading the Seahawks, but I don't really hear a lot of Seahawks love. I think this team has potential to be boom or bust. That's what I think. I think Sam Darnold is either going to be that guy where you overpaid and you bought him at his highest, and it's going to kind of blow up in your face a little bit. And you realize, damn, Cooper Kupp is kind of washed, and it's easy to just kind of game plan and take away the run. And then, yeah, their defense is good, but you don't really need to beat them with too many points. Or they're just nasty and they're swaggy. And Mike McDonald's a really good coach, and he wins fucking coach of the year. That's kind of what I'm wondering. Boom or bust. So if it's bust, they're 6-11 and they lose this game, and the Niners come out pissed off and fuck them up. But I got a question for you. Low key, don't you think everybody's really excited to back the Niners this year, sneaky in a bounce back, and to start it off week 1 against the Seahawks division game on the road? Short favorite?
Yes, I can see that. That's a really good point.
Thank you.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with your last point. However, I guess to where I'm framing the game is for the Seahawks, people who like the Seahawks, they like Mike McDonald. I think he's a great defensive head coach. Seahawks defense should be a lot better, or it should continue to get better, more time with them. I get the Niners the offseason win total being a 10.5 juice to the over after a terrible season last year. It also, winning 6 games and then going on the road week 1 and being a 2.5 point favorite against a team that was 10-7 last year, that seems pretty significant to me also, with the same coaching staffs. And the only real kind of change was Sam Darnold for Geno Smith, and Sam Darnold won 14 games last year. Of course, different system. It seems pretty telling to me that the Niners are favored here. That doesn't mean I like them for the season. I think that the Niners offense is going to have a field day with the Seahawks defense, as good as it may be. Week 1, I just don't think they're all the way tuned up and tight in to what they want to get in or what they want to play to. But at the same time, I think, again, I know the Niners defense is going to be bad. I think Kenneth Walker is going to have a big day. But there's no way in the world that I think that Sam Darnold can keep up with Brock Purdy and what the Niners are going to do, in my opinion.
Very fair point. And Tim says new offensive coordinator in Seattle. And I will point out, I don't want people to forget, because we always fast forward and you can always see these trends and then you miss them and you miss an opportunity to take advantage as a gambler. Mike McDonald, correct me if I'm wrong, last year they opened up with the Broncos. They almost lost the game, and there were 2 safeties, I believe, in the first half that Geno Smith and the Seahawks committed. Now, that was Grubb was his coordinator. He's got a new coordinator, but maybe it could be a Mike McDonald thing. Maybe it could be his team just come out pretty slow and sloppy to start the season. So if I had to lean into something, I'd probably take the Niners first half. But I could see that home crowd maybe potentially getting into it and the Seahawks making it interesting. I don't have a strong lean, but that would be the only thing that I could maybe look back on and think about there. So, and you got Brock Purdy MVP, so I'm sure you're looking for him to obviously have a big day to start.
Yeah, Brock Purdy MVP again, because I think the Niners defense is going to be bad. Don't want to put that past anybody, but I think they play really well this season.
DJ, I'm sitting in Chipotle at lunch reading the OFC write-up from newsletter A+ on the memory right of McDonald pictures. Yeah, I got to give Greg his credit there, Matt. I don't know if you read the newsletter, but Greg did a pretty good job.
Not yet.
All right, Detroit Lions. Am I reading this correctly? Are they an underdog?
Yep. Open the dog, still a dog.
Open +1.5. They're up to 2.5. My, oh, my, oh, my. So the odds makers are saying the Packers are the better team. Granted, it's in Green Bay, not a neutral. But the Sharps are also saying that too. They're seeing value if they're moving the line up to 2.5.
So to retort that point real quick, was it the Sharps moved the line, or was it all the money that came after the Micah Parsons trade?
Oh.
So is that just natural?
So basically, the Cowboys get 1.5 for worse. The Cowboys get 1.5 worse. The Packers get a point better.
Does that not correlate?
Yeah.
So that's how I'm framing it.
Understood. Yeah. Good point. I love Detroit this year. I love them. I know they got to do new offensive coordinator or defense. I'm sorry, they got new coordinators. I made this mistake with the Eagles, and it fucked me. I took them to win the Super Bowl the year they replaced Steichen and Gannon. They were awful. The following year, they win the Super Bowl when they get some competent coordinators in there. I don't know who the guys are coming in for Detroit, but I'm interested to find out. I just think they're a well-oiled machine, and I think they're going to go into to Green Bay. I think they're going to fuck them up. Personally, I think they're going to fuck them up. I just think that's the way Dan Campbell rolls when he goes in and plays Green Bay. Never forget when they beat the Packers and prevented them from getting to the playoffs back when their season was that win was meaningless. But it is a lot of respect, I think, to show that the Packers are favored in this matchup. The Packers got a new weapon. They got Jordan Love now coming into second year of the highest contract, or one of the highest contracts at the time. Camus Money is saying Jordan Love MVP season starts this weekend. I don't agree. I think it's the Lions. I don't care if it's square. I don't care if Betting Queen's on it. I don't care if Trent's on it. I don't care if they have a fucking baby and the baby's on it. Don't give a shit. I like fucking Detroit Lions, and I like them a lot. Sorry, earmuffs. Fuck the Packers. Go ahead, Matt.
This is the only bet I've had that I've locked in.
Don't tell me it's Green Bay, Matt.
Absolutely fucking not.
Okay.
It's Detroit Lions.
Let's
especially
go.
2.5. I cannot believe, again, all the Packers slurpage, all the reaction to the Micah Parsons trade, who's fucking injured, by the way, who's probably not going to fucking play. I hope he does, because the dude hasn't played he hasn't played a snap in the preseason. The dude is not in shape. He is going to get fucking ran through this offensive line. I get the interior change for the offensive line for the Lions. You know who runs the ball for the Lions? Jameer fucking Gibbs. You know who's not on the interior line for the Packers anymore? Kenny fucking Clark, the best fucking run stopper. I don't care it's Jared Goff outdoors. I don't care it's a new system. The Lions are going to run the ball down the Packers' throat. We talk about Jordan Love and fucking Matthew Golden. They're never going to get the fucking ball. They're going to convert every fourth down, and they're going to control the clock and control the game.
I love it.
Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions. Camus Money says, Lions with a plus sign, let's fucking go. Betting is easy as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's that easy. Like the average person, people like Green Bay. People like Jordan Love. The average person isn't excited about fading Green Bay in their season opener.
Yeah, again, the team that lost all their coordinators, the team that lost the entire of the D line, the team that just gave up 50 in the NFC Championship game. No, everyone still loves them. Fuck you, Cam.
Yeah, fuck
Go
you,
take care
Cam.
of your kid.
Yeah, fuck you, Cam. Guy. I think he's got two kids, actually. Yeah.
2 kids. Fuck you,
yeah,
Cam.
Take care of them both, motherfucker. Yeah. Anyways, I'm glad we collab on that one. So Detroit Lions, put it on, add it to my card. All right, here's an interesting one. The Rams at home against the Houston Texans. Rams open 3.5. They're down to 3. Matt, I don't really know what I think about the Texans this year. I love Nico Collins. I like CJ Stroud. He had a bit of a sophomore slump. Sure. Joe Mixon's not healthy. They signed Nick Chubb. We don't know how he's going to be. A lot of question marks with this Texans team. But I like D'Amico Ryans. I took him coach of the year. I like Will Anderson. I took him defensive player of the year. Not this season, previously. I really do. Wait, that's not right. D'Amico Ryans won or lost coach of the year? Because I did not hit that bet. No. Maybe I took him 2 years ago. Anyways, point being is I just want to make sure people understand I respect the Houston Texans. But I don't know if I like them early, and I don't know if I like them on the road in week 1. Now, the Rams are a team that I'm seeing a pretty popular NFC pick and a pretty popular Super Bowl pick. I get it. Stafford's getting older. They got Devontae Adams. They still got a good running game. Their defense was unbelievable last year. They got nasty young motherfuckers on the front. Shout out Jared Verse. I don't know, man. Again, it's one of those things. Could be chalky, could be square. I'm not sure I care. I just don't know that I like and trust CJ Stroud and Nico Collins to go in on the road week 1 and beat the Rams. I'm not sure I'm feeling it.
Yeah, so if you recall, Corn posted the bet like 2 months ago.
I do recall.
Do you remember what it was?
The Texans to win the division parlayed with someone else to win the division. Bills to win the division.
Okay, so I should have been more clear. He posted a lot of fucking bets a couple months ago. One of his week 1 plays was it was the Texans money line with the under.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a shit wager.
The logic, which I agree with, though, however, is the Texans defense is going to be phenomenal. Obviously, you have to have concerns about Matthew Stafford. You have to have, actually, 2 weeks ago when Stafford was hurt, Oh, so you placed the bet after some news. Way
This
to
guy,
react.
you know what this guy fucking does? This
Well
guy,
done.
he just plays doctor. He just goes out there. He's just got his little fucking thing that hits people on their knees with the reflexes, checks their fucking, their heartbeat. That's what he does. He got, what's that called? The stethoscope. That's how Corn wagers. He's just got the stethoscope and he's like, oh, somebody's hurt. I'm gonna bet against them. Somebody's hurt. I'm gonna bet against them. Oh, Matt Stafford shoves in your fucking face, pal.
But I agree with so the Texans' offensive line is going to be awful. And I can't get past that.
No Laramie
It's going to be so fucking bad. I'm sorry.
No Laramie Tunsil. Didn't they trade him to the Commanders?
Yeah, they were bad last year, and they got rid of the best pass blocker. Which, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and when you talk about CJ Stroud regression, I don't know if it's him exactly. I think he has no time to throw at all. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He also doesn't move well, surprisingly, for how young he is, but that's okay.
I agree. Yeah. But the sorry, not to cut you off, but I had the Texans against the Chiefs. I want to say they were 8.5. They lost by 9. But that was something I was so frustrated with was his pocket awareness was so fucking bad. But actually, I'll let you finish, and then there is one positive thing I'll say about the Texans.
No, but off of that, I mean, Kevin and I have touched on it. Outside of Collins, you just play Bill Belichick defense against Collins. You stop him. Who the fuck is CJ Stroud going to throw to? Nick Chubb out of the backfield? Who else do they
signed somebody? Christian Kirk, $18 million a year.
Yeah, we know how that goes.
I know.
So how are they going to score? But
they have a new offensive coordinator, and the guy they had last year was terrible. Yeah, I'm sorry if you said that. I missed it.
No,
but
I haven't yet.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you on what you're saying, but where would your bet be?
If I had to place one to win the game, it'd be the Rams.
Yeah. I like the under.
I do like the under, though. Yeah. Again, kind of two big offenses. Nico Collins, one of the favorite wide receivers in fantasy. You have Matt Stafford, Puka, Devontae, Kyron. People love that offense. They still don't acknowledge how good the defense was last year, so I like the under. And Corn's bet 2 weeks ago, fuck you, Corn. That's what I agree with, is their actual defense. And
fuck you, Corn. Put it on repeat. And I just want to mention I do have Puka Nacua this year as my offensive player of the year. I think he's just an absolute freak. And Devontae Adams is a nice acquisition. You don't want to not have another threat there, but I think it's, I don't think it's going to take away from Puka. I think it's going to make him even more of a problem because you got a game plan for Adams as well. All right, Buffalo, and this is a Sunday night game. Then we got one more, Matt. I realize it's 11:58. We'll try to speed this one up. Buffalo and the Ravens. Listen, I always say every week in football, there's always a game where I'm just content watching and not wagering. This would be it. Two teams I don't really care to fade. I don't care to fade Buffalo, and I don't care to fade the Ravens. I think the Ravens are unbelievable. I think the Bills are going to be just as good. I mean, this is like get your fucking popcorn and enjoy it. But if you got an edge is an edge. That's what they always say. So anything you like in this game?
I've got absolutely nothing. My best bet is to fucking tease Baltimore above a touchdown.
Sure. Yeah.
Figure out something else. But yeah, I mean, I like the Ravens, but I got nothing for you.
Okay. All right. And then last one, Monday night, Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears. You had an interesting thought on this. I'd love for you to share it in here. And again, I'll just make sure I'm as accurate as possible. The Bears open 1.5. The money has come in on the Vikings, and they have now moved to a 1.5 point favorite. So the Bears have gone from a favorite to a dog at home, prime time, against the Minnesota Vikings.
Correct.
What are your thoughts? Sorry.
I agree with when you and I discussed that the Vikings have hype.
That hype, however, in the chat. Wow.
Yeah. The hype, however, I think is quelled all by having a rookie quarterback, second-year quarterback, whatever you want to call it, who hasn't played a single game in the NFL. A quarterback who in college no one really respected because he wasn't CJ Stroud at Ohio State, right? He wasn't Bo Nix at Oregon. He wasn't a sexy quarterback. He never had the stats, but he won a lot of fucking games, and he won the games he needed to win the championship. We've seen the results that Kevin O'Connell has gotten with every single quarterback he's ever had under his tutelage, and that really impresses me. Mm-hmm. And we talk about the lines for J.J. McCarthy. We talk about the expected season numbers. It looks like they expect him to play fairly well. And when you surround him with the offensive and defensive coordinators that the Vikings have and the roster that the Vikings have, it seems like not public money, if you would, is coming on the Vikings. And with all the benefits that the Bears have in getting a phenomenal offensive mind with Ben Johnson, with upgrading their entire offensive line, with all new, I think they've replaced every single one position on their offensive line, so they haven't played a snap together, obviously, in game in the NFL. When you talk about getting rid of their old head coach, when you talk about their defense getting healthier, when you talk about everything they've done, there and Caleb Williams, making that second year jump. There's a lot more Bears love than mine. So when you see that move to 2.5 or to 2 for the Vikings, that feels really significant. And when we talk about what I talked to you, and you brought it to at least my attention because I don't pay attention to college, the line for Ohio State and Texas, it was the same exact scenario. You had the better roster, maybe, if you would, or you had the team with more hype in Texas. You had maybe the team that was given too much respect going into somebody else's house. And that's the Vikings. However, we saw Texas do absolutely fuck all against Ohio State in that defensive Matt Patricia. Great job. My point being is we have the same exact scenario in the NFL. And my question is, do the Sharks get duped twice in prime time? I'm thinking no. In this move towards the Vikings, I want to respect, and I like it.
I think it's a very fair take. And I know you're going to have some people like Alan Dims who be like, oh, those games have nothing to do with each other. Fine. Think however you want to think. That's okay. I get what you're saying. Truthfully, I kind of think that we see I think it's going to be very similar. Because to me, it kind of makes sense. Arch Manning was unproven. JJ McCarthy is unproven. It's going to be on the road. It's going to be a hostile environment. You want to like so many more things about the Vikings than the Bears early, even though you have JJ McCarthy coming in, because it could be plug and play. People are forgetting. They think Sam Darnold could just come into this offense and the Vikings are a great team. He was a veteran quarterback. He had played in the league for years. JJ's coming off an injury. It's going to be his first game. I don't think the Bears are going to find success day one with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. I think there's a lot of questions about Caleb Williams, and I respect the fuck out of Brian Flores. The fuck, man. I don't know if you would probably wouldn't have find another Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator respecter than me, because I keep reminding people a couple years ago when everybody was on the Vikings under win total when it hit, because they were like 8-1 in one possession game. So you fade that the following year. I was like, but hold on, they got Brian Flores. That was year one of Brian Flores. He's a very good defensive coordinator, and he is. And they got the right pieces. They got the right guys. I like everything about the Vikings, except I can't trust JJ McCarthy early. I just can't. I'm going to have to see it. If I put money in this game, it'd be on the under, because I respect Flores. I don't have faith in Caleb. I really do think this could be a 50-50 game. Could be. Just like Texas and Ohio State ended up being. One team looks significantly better, but if you really think about it, Texas, as bad as they played, they were down a touchdown. They had a chance to tie the game. I could see that happening. But I think, if I had to, I think the Bears edge them out. I think. So, but I'm not confident enough.
That's fair. A couple good points, Jeff Matthews. That's a really good stat out there. And then Cam, you were correct. Ben Johnson I think he's the only coordinator to put up 30 points either consistently or more than once on Brian Flores' defense. I think that sounds right.
Yep.
So yes.
Great. Yes. Matt, it's 12:05. I got to head over to Owner's Box. I cannot thank you enough for spending 2 hours of your day going through the NFL board with us. You do a fantastic job. You're an excellent ball knower. Looking forward to doing this again, whether it's a space, whether it's a stream. Really appreciate it. I know you don't give a shit about likes and followers, but go follow him in Major Matt on Twitter. Good luck. And hey, I'm very thrilled that we've come out of this with a collab on a team like the Detroit Lions.
I could not be more ecstatic that you and I are agreeing on a play. Absolutely love it. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me as always. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Thanks for not yelling at me too much. Thank you for acknowledging that how handsome I am. I always appreciate that. Absolutely turn my notifications on. It's what I live for. I love Twitter. But yeah, thanks for having me as always. You, Steak, and Greg, keep doing your thing. If Greg could just somehow focus, give you guys some attention, I think you guys got something real special. I like your guys' attitude. Love you guys' personalities. Just figure out how to bet, and I think you guys will get where you want to go.
You're absolutely right. We got to get those green check marks. That's the best way to get winners. Thank you, Matt. Have a great day, and good luck on week 1. Peace. All right, guys. W, Matt. Thanks to Matt again. Make sure you join the raid. I got the raid loaded up right now. We're going to go over to Owner's Box. Give me just a few minutes. I got to make a cup of tea. My fucking vocal cords are destroyed. Pause. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Good luck. Thank you to get a mid-major. I'm going to send you guys over to Owner's Box. I'll be there in a few minutes to chop it up with the Canadians. Peace. Fuck is my mouse cursor? Oh, there it is.